All right, welcome back. Let's bring in some fresh troops and new perspectives. We have CNBC contributors Brian Westbury, First Trust Advisors, Greg Valliere of Stanford Financial, Kudlow & Company contributor Jerry Bowyer, Benchmark Financial, and Mark Skousen, editor of Forecasts and Strategies. Gentlemen, difficult day. Thank you for coming on. Yep. Brian Westbury, let me begin with you. Yep. A, is the labor market, employment market collapsing? B, is the economy collapsing?
Yeah, A, no, B, no. You know, the employment report today wasn't great, but we have to remember it's a lagging indicator of the economy. In your previous segment, Larry, you went through the whole host of detailed statistics, both ISM reports for the manufacturing and non-manufacturing sector, retail sales, initial unemployment claims. All of these numbers have improved lately. The last thing to improve will be these employment numbers. Also, part of the deal about today's jump in the unemployment rate was clearly a problem, a miscalculation, a problem with the seasonal adjustments when 16 to 24-year-olds re-entered the workforce after school. We had a huge increase in their unemployment rate, and it's just not real. It's a problem with the seasonal adjustment. We'll make up for it next month. So
I see some nodding heads on that. That's good. Jerry Bowyer, you mentioned this to me. I talked about it when I was on the call and the midday show. Is it possible that the minimum wage plays a role? And I mean, the story for viewers who may not know, so-called school leavers, kids getting out of school looking for a job, generally 16 to 24 years old, they damage this number a lot. Some people blame it on seasonal adjustments. Maybe it was the wrong week to measure it. But there's also a minimum wage thing going on here, Jerry Bowyer. What's your take?
Yeah, the Brain Trust over in the United States Congress last year passed a really large minimum wage increase that has already started to kick in and kicks in really big this summer. And so what did free market economists say? When you have massive increases in minimum wage, who do you hurt most? Teenagers and African Americans. Which two categories got hammered most in today's unemployment? Teenagers and African Americans. There's a price floor. Congress will point at the market, but I know there's seasonal adjustment issues, and it might not be as bad because of those issues, but we still have a big spike in unemployment for teenagers and African Americans, and I'm pointing at the United States Congress.
Mark Skousen, to go back to Brian Westbury's point, he does not see a jobs collapse. He does not see an economics collapse. And I'll just add to that, I don't see a stock market collapse either. In fact, I'm still looking for a stronger second half because the economy is profitable, the economy is highly productive, and I do believe the oil problem is an issue. I concede that. Where do you come out on this? What if, in fact, the Israeli raid rumor is driving oil? What if oil does drop 20 or 30 bucks here?
Larry, today is D-Day, and I'm surprised you haven't mentioned it. We forget our history. Today is D-Day, and for Wall Street, that's depression in stocks, the dollar, and the economy. And I am sorry, but this is finally a wake-up call. Today is a wake-up call to all of us. We're looking in the rearview mirror, and the statistics have looked pretty good in the last 3 or 4 months. But we were slammed today. And I think we need to pay attention.
What does a slam mean? I mean, we lost 49,000 jobs today. Is that right? The average estimate was 65,000. So actually, the loss of jobs was less than the consensus expected.
But Larry,
and there is no evidence. Let me just go on to this.
Okay.
We are seeing mild, yes, I don't deny that the labor market is soft. I don't deny that we've stopped creating jobs for the moment. But in traditional, typical recessions, you lose a couple of 100,000 jobs.
Exactly.
The unemployment rate is much worse. In other words, what exactly is the D in the D-Day here? What are you selling me? Because I don't think I'm buying, to be perfectly honest with you. We haven't disrupted free markets. We haven't jacked up tax rates.
Yes, we did. Minimum wage law, we just mentioned that.
Well, I mean, that's a small thing, but yeah, that may have been part of the story.
Fortunately, the cap-and-trade bill lost, which is a good thing. But
and
that's
temporary. Coal stocks did very well today on the basis of that cap-and-trade, which is cap-and-kill the economy.
My ag stocks, my gold stocks, my oil stocks, well, some of the oil stocks did pretty well today to buffer us against this collapsing U.S. market. But, you know, 3% drop is nothing to, you know, it's something that we should pay attention to. We shouldn't just ignore these factors.
Let me just, I don't want to lose out on this. Greg Valliere, how did John McCain's stock do on a day like today?
Really poorly. And, you know, the irony here is that I think you and Brian and some of your other guests are right, that the number was a fluky unemployment number. The economy is not that weak, but The media, Larry, is going to make this Armageddon. The media is going to portray this as something really horrible. It's been a bad day for John McCain. It's been a bad week for John McCain. Fearless forecast, by July 4th, Obama's up by at least 10 points.
This is the Obama bounce that you're thinking of.
Yep, absolutely.
Let me ask you two other things. Inside the market, Greg, it's so interesting to me.
Yep.
Cap and trade has died in the Senate.
For 1 year.
The big cost increases for everything, taxes and spending and regulations, cause higher gas prices at the pump from this source. All that's off the table. Interestingly, the hardest hit potential sector, the risk was coal. So cap and trade is down and coal is up today, Greg. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, I do too, but all this stuff's coming back, whether it's a hike on cap gains or dividends or cap and trade, you name it, with an overwhelming victory by the Democrats in the House and Senate, and with Obama being the favorite. All the stuff that you and a lot of the guests hate will be resurrected in about 9 months.
Well, I can't wait for that. Let me ask you one more. Washington
Coal is an
Wall
oil
Street.
substitute, by the way.
Inside the market today, defense stocks were hammered. In fact, I believe they were hammered yesterday and today. Is that an Obama effect because he's sort of a McGovernite on defense policy, Greg?
I'm a total contrarian. I think there's a better chance that McCain would cut defense because he's a war hero and he doesn't like waste and Pentagon, excesses. I think Obama would have to keep defense spending high because of the criticism he'd get if he didn't.
So what's your outlook on the defense sector? Because it's been a great performer.
There's still a lot of bad guys out there in the world. I think defense is still a good sector.
All right, everybody, stay right where you are. Much more work to do. We're going to continue this, the whole discussion, stocks, jobs, oil.